Hi Year 4, hope you're all doing okay. Welcome to Tuesday's lesson on area. Before we go into the main part, there is a starter on the, board then, on the smart, the video for you to go through. So I'll read it out for you and then see if you can have a go at it. So it says, Katie has a hexagonal fish tank. She wants to buy a strip of fake plants to stick around the perimeter of the tank. All the sides measure 15 centimeters each. How many centimeters of the fake plants will she need to buy to stick all the way around the fish tank? So the key word in that question is perimeter, and so I'll underline that for you so it makes it nice and clear. And then it also says all the sides measure 15 centimeters each. Now remember yesterday when we talked about making sure that you have the measurement on the end of your number, so remember it's in centimeters, okay? So see if you can work it out, pause the video, give yourself a couple minutes and see if you can get the answer. Okay, hopefully you managed to have a look at that and managed to get the answer. So there's two ways you could have done it. So I labelled each side 15, so I knew how many sides there were. Obviously it is a hexagon, so you might have known straight away that it was 6, but don't worry if you didn't. So I wrote it all around the side, and then you can either add 15 together 6 times, or you can times it by 6. Okay, now this is the easier method, I would say, but if you feel more confident doing repeated addition, then do that, that's fine. So I won't go through this method, but this one we'll go through. So 5 times 6 is 30, so your 0 goes in your ones column, and 3 tens would have to be carried over into your tens. 6 times 1 is 6, add on the 3 would be 9, so it would be 90. And remember, we need to put our centimetres on the end as well. So therefore the answer is 90 centimetres. Hopefully you got that correct. Let's move on to today's learning. So today we're going to be looking at making 2D shapes and finding the area. So we're continuing with area. All the star words I think are the same today, but we're just looking at kind of making our own shapes today and working out the perimeter of our own shapes that we make. So the first question then, it says, Sinead wants to create 3 different rectilinear shapes using 23 square tiles. She has completed 2. Create a shape with the remaining tiles. So what does rectilinear mean again? That's the first question we need to work out because it says rectilinear shapes. What does that mean again? Have a quick think, see if you can remember what rectilinear means. So a rectilinear shape, sorry, it's a tricky word to say, is a shape where all the edges, all the corners meet at right angles, okay? So as I've kind of said before, it's kind of like a rectangle just with a chunk taken out of it. That's how I like to think of it. So it's where you have all straight sides in the shape and all the corners meet at a right angle. You can see here, they're all right angles in this shape, okay? What do we need to know to complete this question then? So we know that she makes 3 different rectilinear shapes using 23 square tiles. That's a key piece of information. She has already completed 2. Create a shape with the remaining tiles. So how many tiles does she have left? That's the first question we need to work out. So we need to add these up first. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 8 in that one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 8 and 7. Now we could take these both away from this, but I'm going to add them up first. So 8 adds 7. If you're not sure how to do it, have 8 in your head, 7 on your fingers, and then count on from 8. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you have 15. So now we take 23 and we take away 15. If you're not sure how to do that, we could use our column method. We could do it like that. So 3 take away 5, we cannot do that, so we have to take 1 from the 2. So that would become 1 because we've taken 1 from it, and then 13 take away 5 would be 8. And 1 take away 1 is 0. So we have 8 left, so 8 tiles are left. How could we create a shape with the remaining 8? Now, we could just draw this because that has 8 squares in it. However, it says 3 different rectilinear shapes. Now, I guess this is a rectilinear shape still because all of the corners are meet at right angles. However, this is just a rectangle. So see if you can be a bit more creative. See if you can think of a shape that looks a bit more like this. So if I just rub this out. So there's loads of different ways you could do it really. You've just got to make sure you have 8 squares inside your shape. So you could start up here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I've got one more. So let's just rub that out then. So it's a bit of trial and error really, because you don't know until you kind of draw it sometimes how many squares you're going to have inside your shape. So there we go. That should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's no wrong or right answer for that really. You can make whatever shape you want, as long as all the corners meet at right angles and you have 8 squares inside. So hopefully that helped you with how to make your own shape. Now it's your turn. So what I want you to do, I know you might not have squared paper at home, so in your home learning books, I believe they're already lined. So what you're going to do is, if you have a ruler, then great. If you don't, then just try and draw it really neatly. Draw some horizontal lines down your book to make it into graph paper. Now you don't have to do all the book, maybe just a little section. So maybe pick about 10 lines, so 10 lines, and then draw horizontal lines down the way. So you've in your books already got these lines here. What I want you to do now is draw lines down so that you can make a little grid. Once you've done that, then can you have a go at finishing the shape? So it has an area of 28 centimeters. So that means in this shape you need to make 28 boxes. Actually, that's quite a big number, so I'm going to change that, because I think that'd be quite hard. Let's do 16. Okay, so try and fit in 16 boxes into your shape, starting with, these are your starting points. Okay, have a go at that, and then come back to the video and we'll go through one together. Okay, hopefully you managed to have a go at that. It's harder than it looks, I think. It took me a while to actually draw this, so I just went for an L shape, and then when I got to here I realised, oh, I only have 15, so I just did an extra box there, and that's absolutely fine. That's still a shape, and it still has an area of 16 centimetres, so don't worry too much, and if your shape looks different to that, then that's fine. As long as you've got 16 boxes inside it, then that's still correct. Okay. Now I want you to have a go at this one. So Jovan has drawn 3 different rectilinear shapes. Each shape has an area of 23 square tiles with no more than 6 sides. What shapes could he have drawn? Draw them on the grids below. So you might need to draw some more grids in your books. What strategies could we use here? What does it mean when it says the area has to be 23 squares? So what strategies could we use here? Now we need to underline the key words for starters, because that is something that will be really helpful for us. So we have 3 different rectilinear shapes. So they're rectilinear, okay, and it has an area of 23 square tiles. So link into this question then, what does that mean to have an area of 23 square tiles? Think about with this one, sorry, our area was 16 centimeters. With this one, it's 23. Therefore, in each shape, you need to have at least 23 squares inside your shape. However, it can have no more than 6 sides, so it can have 6 or less sides. Okay. So, what shapes could he have drawn? So, what I want you to do, have a go. See if you can make 3 different shapes, all with 23 squares inside, and they can't have any more than 6 sides. Okay. So, here we go. I'm going to have a go now as well, and then come back to me in a minute. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but that took me ages to do. But actually, in the end, I found out quite a logical way to do it. It might have taken you guys less time to do it. So what I did, because I noticed it was 23, I made multiples of a number that were near 23. So for example, this one is 5 times 5. So I know 5 times 5 is 25. So if this was a full square, it would equal 25. However, we want 23. So I just took 2 out of it. So I thought that was the easiest way to do it. So then this one was 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. And I know that I had to add 3 extra, so I just added those 3 extra on. And this one was 3 times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21. So you need to add 2 more. So I did it that way. So I found that was the easiest way to do it in the end. It did take me a while to work it out though, so don't worry if it took you guys a while as well. But hopefully that makes a bit more sense now. So today your questions are here. So you will need to draw some more grids in your book, I'm afraid. So this is group 1. There are 2 questions for group 1, 2 for group 2, and then a challenge. Spend about 20 minutes or so doing them, no longer. And if you do finish them, then move on to the challenge. And we'll go through the answers at the end of the video. So this is group 1. They are also on Microsoft Teams if you want to have a look on there or on the school website. This is group 2. And then this is your challenge for those of you who get onto it. Okay, so once you've done those, then come back to the video and we'll go through the answers. So here are the answers for group 1. So a builder is making a patio out of 5 concrete slabs. What shapes could he make? Draw 5 different shapes in the space below. So you could have drawn all kinds of shapes. You just had to make sure you had 5 squares in the middle of them, okay, inside it. So they could have been any shapes. They might have looked like this, might look differently. That's fine, okay. This one, draw 2 different rectilinear shapes, each with an area of 6 squares. So this one, you had to draw just 2 shapes where they had 6 squares inside them. Okay, so it's similar to this one, but this one you just had to make sure that you had 6 squares inside them. Let's go to group 2. So the first one, I didn't write the answers because I thought I would talk it through with you. So class 4 have been asked to make as many different shapes as possible using 3 squares. They draw the following shapes. So we've got these 5 shapes. What mistake have they made? Now, the mistake they've made that I've seen is actually this shape. Let me circle it in a colour for you. This shape and this shape are the same. They're just rotated. And the same goes for this shape and this shape. So actually, they're not different shapes. They're just the same, but just rotated. So that's the mistake they've made. How can I make sure they do not make the mistake again? So if you rotate it round to this way, you would be able to see that it's the same as that, if that makes sense. So what I would suggest is you doing it on graph paper, and then you would be able to see more easily if it's the same shape, or yeah, just rotating them each way to check it's not actually the same shape. Or you can see if you can use different shapes as well. Also, I've noticed that this one's the same. Just noticed that, and actually these, yeah, they're all the same. So there's only 2 different shapes there, and if they had used graph paper, maybe they wouldn't have made those mistakes. This one, take the patios that can be made using 4 square concrete slabs. So what I did was I drew the lines in these boxes, carried on from the lines that were around the outside, and I found that these, initially it was just this one because I had 1, 2, 3, 4 easy squares there, so I thought, oh, that's definitely one. But then I looked at this one and I thought, actually, if you divide it up into all these squares, you've got a square here, because 4 squares make one big square, one here, and one here. So actually you could fit 4 squares in this shape as well, just not these little ones, because it doesn't say what size the squares are. It just says 4 square concrete slabs, and actually if the square slabs are this big, then you could fit 4 in. So I took that one as well. And the same with this one. Now, even though the lines don't meet here, where I've done the blue line, actually you'd be able to fit 4 slabs in there. Because this is a big square, you can fit 4 smaller squares inside it, no matter what size they are. So that would be one as well. This one wouldn't be, because you wouldn't be able to split it up equally so that 4 squares can fit in. Okay, so it's these 3. Then the challenge one, write your name using the squares and answer the questions below. Now, I had great fun doing this, as you can see. It took me a while. I'm sure it's probably took you guys a while as well, but I hope you enjoyed it. So you just had to write each letter and then write how many squares were inside it underneath. Which letter has the largest area? So that was just the one where it had the most squares inside. So in my case, it was the M. And then what is the total area of your name? So this probably took you guys quite a while as well. You just had to add up all of the squares to get the answer. So that probably took you guys a while. So I do apologise for that, but I hope it was a bit more exciting being able to write your name. That's everything for today. Hope everything was okay. If you have any questions, as always, send me a message and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, thanks for watching.